welcome to Full Day, your late night show on Signature TV. I am Vinmartin Obiora, Ilo, and tonight we have in our studio Honorable Dennis Abo, member representing Ibueze North Udenu Federal Constituency. Dennis, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I'll be talking to Dennis in a moment, but also tonight we'll be having a chat with Izuchukwu Epueke, who is a journalist with Solid FM in Enugu, and we're looking at the media and challenges of democracy. Don't go away. Next, we have our trending stories tonight. And trending tonight, we have the KB Elders Consultative Forum opposing the proposal for state policing, a measure widely endorsed by various stakeholders as a potential solution to Nigeria's worsening security challenges. The forum's director, Dr. Farouk Meyama, expressed concern that establishing state-controlled police forces could exacerbate ethnic tensions and deepen divisions across the country. Speaking on Signature Show on Signature TV, Meyama argued that state policing might lead to the misuse of power by state governors, potentially fueling ethnic conflicts rather than resolving insecurity.
Some of the state police, even in developed countries like in the United States, at times you can see how they are used against the students of their respective states, and at times even have some clashes between them and the federal police. In developed countries, what about our own country that we are developing now? I, for instance, seen a situation whereby people that just simply collect revenues, intimidate people that come from the other parts of the country. I school in the East. I have seen what has been happening. I also travel across the country, and I have seen what has been happening in different parts of the country. And I know the dangers of state police. And I have seen what some of these vigilante groups were even doing. Not talk of the state police that are formalized security outfits.
Chairman of the 8 branches of the Nigerian Bar Association NBA in Rivers State have issued a strong condemnation of a recent query issued to the chairman of the NBA Port Harcourt branch, Cordelia Eke, by the administrator of Rivers State through the Ministry of Justice. In a joint statement, the NBA chairman described the allegations as an attempt to intimidate Mrs. Eke and stifle dissenting voices among legal professionals in the state, stating that Eke did not issue the communique in her capacity as a civil servant, but as the elected chairman of the Port Harcourt branch in line with her constitutional mandate. The chairman argued that their collective statements, including the one referenced from April 9th, were issued following formal deliberations within the association and reflected the position of all NBA branches in the state, noting that their views align with those of the NBA at the national level. The NBA chairman further criticized the query, which they say is part of a broader effort by the sole administrator to suppress free speech and dismantle democratic norms under the guise of maintaining peace. The lawyers reminded the Rivers State administrator that the main objective of the Nigerian Bar Association is the promotion of the rule of law as watchdog of the society, which has the duty of speaking truth to authority and reaffirm the unwavering stand to resist any harassment or persecution targeting NBA leadership, lawyers, or the wider public of Rivers State. The 8 chairmen of NBA branches in Rivers State had, in a joint statement, criticized the sole administrator for going against his mandate and the rule of law, urging President Bola Tinubu and the National Assembly to ensure he keeps within his mandate. Also trending tonight, the University of East London Alumni Network Nigeria had pledged to partner the Enugu State government to advance educational excellence and community development. The president of the Alumni Network Nigeria, Professor Isa Abdul Rahim, during a courtesy visit to Government House Enugu, praised Governor Peter Mbah's exceptional leadership and affirmed the alumni's readiness to support his administration's initiatives. He said that the proposed partnership aims to provide scholarship for deserving students, promote community development through educational programs, enhance student recruitment and learning opportunities, and collaborate with institutions to harness talents?
We are concerned about the sustainability of your noble programs in Enugu State. And we want to pledge our support for you. Here in our team, we are complete Nigerians. We have people from the far north that have been on the road since 2 days now because of the closure of the airport. Yes, we are not retired. We're here. We have people from the south and we have people from the central states in Nigeria today. Your Excellency, sir, our vision is not only to support your digitalization and the smart school that he talked about extensively to me. Because of our backgrounds and different disciplines of University of East London alumni, we are happy to inform you that as our grand patron, we would like to collaborate with the government in any area that our services might be required.
Trending stories tonight, President Donald Trump's administration will move to reduce the impact of his automotive tariffs on Tuesday by alleviating some duties imposed on foreign parts in domestically manufactured cars and keeping tariffs on cars made abroad from piling on top of other ones, officials said. Automakers said earlier on Monday they were expecting Trump to issue relief from the auto tariffs ahead of his trip to Michigan, which is the home to the Detroit 3 automakers and more than 1,000 major auto suppliers.
Catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. You know, I've stuck up for the NFL. I've stuck up for a lot of American companies and other companies, but American companies.
You're watching Full Day on Signature TV. We'll take a break. When we return, my guest Izuchukwu Opueke will be ready to have a chat with us. You're watching Full Day on Signature TV. And joining me now via Zoom is Izuchukwu Opueke, a journalist, as we look at the media and challenges of democracy. Izuchukwu, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Izuchukwu,
Yes,
glad
so
to know
I'm here.
you have
Okay.
joined us.
Thank you.
Okay, so would you say that the media is still the watchdog of our society?
Yes, I would say, despite all that has happened for some time, I would still say yes, they are still watchdogs. So, what I can really say is that sometimes somehow the role of the watchdog is being stifled by the government, thanks to laws, the activities of security agencies, and also our courts. So, because it's like the freedom of speech is under threat in Nigeria, because some journalists who have expressed themselves, who have tried to investigate or try to dig out things that the government doesn't want to, are kept behind bars, thereby somehow trying to put fears in the minds of the people that want to take up that work. But by and large, that watchdog role of the media as enshrined in section 22 of the Nigerian Constitution has not failed. They are still keeping it up. But because of some things, because of some laws, some policies of the government, and the activity of law enforcement agencies, that's not how it is being watered down a little. But, but now they are still, as a journalist, I would say that that work is still being done.
Well, some people have also argued that instead of being really the watchdog of democracy, they are really becoming the lapdog of political interests. But The next question I'd like to ask you is that so much is being demanded from journalists, and that's why they are called the fourth estate of the realm. But do you think that the government, the society, that they are doing enough to support the media to be able to do their work?
Thank you for that question. You know, the journalists in Nigeria are kind of uh, how do I describe them? They are kind of endangered species. Yes, endangered species. Because the society, the government, they need a lot from you. They look up to you. Now they tell us that we are the fourth estate of the rain. Yes, but the question is this: how far has the government, how far has the people protected the journalists? Because it seems that the both society and the government and anybody, they try to use journalists at the time when it's at their own convenience. They will use journalists. It is not a question of whether they have stopped being a watchdog and being a lead dog or another thing. The question is this journalist in Nigeria has become a dangerous species. A dangerous species in the sense that sometimes you carry out your legitimate activity as a journalist, so that the government agency will come to you and say that you are trying to blackmail the government, you are trying to sabotage the government, and it will surprise you. It will be a shock to you that the same people you are fighting for will still be the one to say crucify him, crucify him. So at that now when you find yourself at that situation, you try to keep your head afloat, because I remember what I was told in orientation I went to, that you as a journalist try and report the story. Don't allow them to report you. Means that you have to be alive to report. You have to be alive to be a watchdog. You have to be alive to do every other to both investigate and other things. But it is heartbreaking that sometimes the people you are being this for, because the work of the journalist is trying to be a hold government accountable on behalf of the people. Now, people, I don't know whether people don't understand that journalists hold government accountable on their behalf, because the way they criticize journalists, they say that journalists is bad, journalists is bad, journalists are corrupt, journalists is this. Sometimes it is the government that will sponsor them to say to crucify to crucify. But what I know is that whenever they have problems, they do run back to journalists, because it is still journalists it is still their voice that the government hears. Because sometimes journalists, aside writing, aside trying to report, also it's also a voice to the voiceless, especially in society. It's a voice of the downtrodden, and we have not. I think people have not yet forgotten, because if they have forgotten, they won't be running to journalists. Now you find that people that today somebody will be prosecuting the journalist today, tomorrow they will run back to that journalist and say, "Please, I need your help." So meaning that he still recognize
let me take
for the
you
moment,
away.
the interest.
Let me take you away from that direction, because I think you've substantially made your point about how they throw us away today and then tomorrow they are looking for our face and looking for our help. Let me end our conversation by asking you, are you among the journalists or the traditional journalists who feel that the social media has eroded, our responsibilities of setting agenda, and that they've also eroded our advertising, a portion of our advertising, and that they've also put us under pressure, that some journalists now in pursuit of breaking news make mistakes because they're trying to break the news before people in the social media? Are you among those journalists that are saying that, look, these guys are eroding our space?
Um, so over the time, this discussion has been on for many years. The world we understand is dynamic. Dynamism is what makes the world life what it is. Social media has come. Before now, people were predicting, saying that social media will see to the end of conventional media, which is newspaper, television, and all those and others. But it has not happened. To me, it's social media has come to help the work. Now, if I may ask, now yes, we may say that now somehow the ethics of journalism that we used to know is being eroded by social media because social media has made it possible for every person to be a journalist. Once you have your Android phone and you can snap, they call themselves a journalist, but they are not journalists. We know they are not journalists. What social media has done somehow is that those now those ethics, those things that we need, like sometimes you go to social media, you see person snapping the picture, putting a picture of a dead man on social media. To me, you and me know that it's unethical to do that. Yes, but also let us look at the positive side of social media. Social media has made it possible for us to know that sometimes when something that is happening in far away, Rome, in far away US, or even in Abuja, it is social. Sometimes they try to bring your attention to it. They try to bring attention to not to it. However, it has not eroded completely because I can still tell you that even when people see any information on social media, sometimes they will run to conventional media to fact check. It's okay, okay, I saw this on social media because what social media has already done is somehow it has make increase the rate of fake news. Okay, but however, that is also where the conventional news media is having an edge over them because the conventional news, radio, the newspaper, they don't carry fake news. They try to make sure that all the stories they carry is verified. On the aspect of revenue, I don't think they have really. I don't think because people still advertise on social media, people still advertise on radio, people still advertise on television, people still advertise. So the only thing is that I'm as a journalist, what I see them as trying to bring them together. And when you look at it, so many I work with a radio station, and what we have done is try to leverage on the advantage of social media. Okay, because you know that some of your clients are not here, so you need to leverage on social media and other internet platforms to market yourself, to put yourself out there. So to me, I don't think that it has really affected revenue. But if you talk of in terms of ethics of journalism, then on that aspect, I would say yes, that it has. And let me conclude by saying that because of this social media freak that people have today, you find people not trying to be humanity. But sometimes you see a sin where accident happens. Instead of people trying to assist, what everybody is trying to is just to depend on first of all break the news. And sometimes people have a request to break the news. Some people have broken their head or have their head broken.
Thank you, Zuchukwu. Thank you so much for your insights. It's a debate that continues about whether the media is doing what it should do or whether the media is shaking it in its duties. Thank you again, Izuchukwu Opueke, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And when we return, we'll go to our main conversation with Dennis Abo, House of Reps member, representing the good people of Ibueze North and the Udenu constituency. Don't go away. And already seated for this conversation is Honorable Dennis Abo. Dennis, you're welcome to Full Day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, let me just go straight to part of the reason why you're in this studio tonight. You are a member of the Labour Party. You were elected by the Labour Party in 2023. And you've had your challenges being taken out by the court and then going back, winning the election again, being taken to court again, and then winning again and getting back to the National Assembly. It is no longer a hidden thing. Your party, Labour Party, is in trouble. You have many factions. And I'm asking, I mean, you are an insider. What is the problem with the Labour Party?
Thank you once again, and good evening, viewers. What is going on in Labour Party is not different from what is going on in a number of opposition political parties. A lot of people have said, and I agree with them, that the opposition parties themselves have not been able to get themselves together and occupy their role and discharge their responsibility as opposition, which is very necessary in a democracy to keep the ruling party in check. Now, so they allow little issues within the party to fester, to linger, and then to degenerate into big issues. And at the end of the day, maybe because other people are also wanting to make a fee and to take advantage of misunderstandings within the opposition parties, which I believe the opposition parties themselves should be aware of this and be on guard against it. So when little issues come up, they should not allow it to degenerate. They should solve it. They should nip it in the bud. Nip those issues in the bud, not allow them to degenerate, because other people are wanting to take advantage.
Let's go to the Labour Party. What were the little issues that have been allowed to degenerate?
Okay.
What were the issues that that is tearing the party apart?
For a while, for some time now, there has been disagreement between some of our key stakeholders and the National Working Committee. Accusations have been levied right and left. And right from the time the elections were, the elections were concluded, campaigns were concluded, there were allegations of misappropriation or corruption among levied against people who were in the National Working Committee. I think these were very simple issues that could have been better managed and not allowed to degenerate at all. These are common, these are normal things that could have been better handled, better managed, that they were unfortunately allowed to degenerate.
You know, and I'm thinking that maybe this gives some clearer view of what the national chairman, I don't know whether I should call him the former national chairman or the current chairman, that's Obiora, what he said, that some people who did not suffer with them came to hijack the party from them, and not considering what they had put in, that because the party had become popular, they wanted to shove them aside and take over the party. So were these people the people that were not interested in resolving the small issues? They were just interested in getting the leadership out of the way.
Let me make the point very, very clear. Labour Party made a very strident mark in the polity of Nigeria in 2023. And people who were members of the National Working Committee naturally should expect to take the praise, if nothing else. So it's not unusual, it's not unexpected for a chairman, national chairman of such a party that has put up a sterling performance by every standard. It was the best outing, first outing of a political party in Nigeria, maybe in a very long time. So I give it to them, and I expect the party to understand that such people who held commanding positions in the party during the election of 2023 should have been given their rightful treatment, rightful regard, air of importance. They should have been treated with some amount of regard and importance. It is not unusual for them to expect to be so regarded.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you now come and start hounding them, you give opportunity for people who never contributed to what we are talking about, or what we are celebrating, to now begin to come in as if they are so-called contributors or key stakeholders. You leave a room for people who shouldn't take the praise to actually come in. That shouldn't happen. I have always stood on the point that people, whether at the national level or at our state level, who supervised as officers of the party the performance of Labour Party in 2023 should be given a lot of regard, a lot of respect, should be treated well. Their welfare should be looked into, because it is not out of place for them to expect their welfare to be looked into, especially by those people who emerged out of the elections that they organized as officers of the party
and took some
It's not
public
out of
office.
Yes.
They should have really looked back and, like you said, give them their due respect.
Yes.
Another area of concern, and here you are, and I'd like to talk about it, was that people said that your presidential candidate, Peter Obi, did not manage the success of Labour well. He didn't nurture, Labour as he should have, considering the performance of the party in 2023. There was also the argument that a lot of legislators, for instance, that were elected, who faced challenges in court, were not assisted by the party as led by Peter Obi. Could this be part of the things that has continued to ruffle feathers inside the Labour Party? Do you think Obi has done so well in managing the success of Labour?
Let me say that what was achieved, let me repeat it again, what was achieved in 2023, even many people within Labour Party never realized the monumental estimation of what we achieved. And we shook Nigeria to its very foundation. It had never happened in that fashion before. We took people in their normal political domain and we shook them there, took them off. For instance, you know what happened in Lagos and other places of strategic importance in the politics of Nigeria. We went to those places and distorted the normal traditional things and pattern of elections. Now, we needed to be more on our toes, because those we offset from those locations, we shouldn't have expected them to just...
You are not going to go to sleep.
Yes. So we should have, one, regarded our success more highly and known that somebody who puts up such a sudden sterling performance was not going to be left alone to come and build upon it and maybe take over the reins of government. So a lot of people feel that way, that especially our principal never understood or rightly estimated.
When you mean your principal, do you mean the national chairman?
No, I'm talking about our presidential candidate in this case.
Yes.
So that he should have realized that this was going to be a 24-hour business, managing that success. It was going to be it was not a thing to take a leave or take some time, and return to it later. It was supposed to be managed, and with all amount of fairness, with all amount of seriousness, with all amount of engagement, with all amount of understanding, and so on and so forth. It required all of that to be put on the table for us, because and then the disenchantment started showing and unfortunately from very prominent people within the Labour Party. People who were spokespersons, people who were who managed the presidential campaign, people from the National Working Committee, people who their faces meant a lot. They started disagreeing with the party openly, and then it was not a small embarrassment to the Labour Party. And then, of course, mischief makers also stepped forward and took advantage of that, and many people started laying claim to the control of the party. And people who don't know anything at all regarding the party. You know, leaders emerged, Apapa group, Abure group, and of course Abure was the substantive national chairman. But other ones started emerging because there was a lacuna, there was a loophole, there was an opening, and so they started cashing in on it. I thought then, and I still think now, that we should have treated this the situation more discreetly and handled the issue of Abure, treated Abure with a little more respect. If no matter what happened, what we think, the accusations that were levied, he was still the person who supervised that monumental performance. You know, it was not a one-man show. It was not a one person's effort, but he was the national chairman, and you cannot discount it. If he mismanaged the process of primary electioneering, primary election, selection of a candidate, we wouldn't have had the kind of performance we put up. And there was opportunity for a chairman to mismanage something. So even if for any without any other thing, for managing the process of selecting our candidates in such a way that we put up candidates for the election and candidates who ended up putting up a good performance, he needed to be treated with.
Let me still stay with His Excellency P2B.
I'm not holding brief for Abure, and I'm saying that even if there was a problem, we could have handled that problem
in a better way.
We could have handled it.
Yeah. So I'm still staying with P2B and the gains that Labour had made in 2023. You know, we see him every day. You know, putting up opposition positions. Putting up opposition positions in almost every aspect of our daily lives. You see him weighing in each time he felt that the government was going astray and all that. But there has been an accusation that is more like a one-man riot squad than the leader of a political party who should give a sense of belonging to followers and party members. Is that how you also see the way he has, run the business of the party, and his position as a flag bearer of such a party that has distinguished itself in 2020?
In all fairness to our principal, the presidential candidate, to sustain the effort of such, the visibility of such a party required more hands to be on deck. It required those of us who are in the National Assembly to play our role, to project the party. Those of them who contested elections like presidential candidate, vice presidential candidate, our BOT people, the National Working Committee, and the House of Assembly elected member, the governor, and so on and so on. All hands needed to be on deck to project the party and give us the right visibility, not the wrong visibility. So it's not just him, but I'm saying he's supposed to be to be the one galvanizing every other person, beating everybody in line, to the line, and reining people, encouraging us, guiding in humility, because no matter how humble you become, nobody takes over from you that thing which you have already achieved. So it needed to be like lie low, guide people to manage this huge thing that we have all achieved. I remember there was once even when I was out of the National Assembly fighting the legal battle, I was invited to a meeting once, and that meeting was to essentially, when I sat down and I saw what was going on, it was just to put a stamp on the sacking of the state chairman of Labour Party in Enugu State. Everything had been arranged, put in place, and that was going to happen, except that I came. I just happened to come. I was invited to that meeting, and I sat down. I wasn't even a substantive member of the House of Reps as at that time. I had not won my seat back. But when they finished presenting this case, everybody speaking one after the other, it was clear that the game, they're putting the game up for the state chairman. It was my intervention that saved the day, because I said, this is Enugu State, and it was clear, very clear, that we put up the best performance among all the states in Nigeria. Yes. No state came near our performance at all. Not even the state of our presidential candidate, Anambra State. We had won in the first ballot 7 seats out of 8 House of Reps members, 2 out of 3 senators, 14 out of 24 House of Assembly members, and that was not a small feat at all. And I just said, please, is there a way we can manage? This was my intervention that day. Is there a way we can manage this misunderstanding? Yeah, there might have been statements, outbursts, reactions from the chairman that didn't go down well with people. But could that just be a failure of expectation, disappointment of expectations? And is it out of place for him to have expectations as somebody who managed that performance of the state that put up the best performance among all the states in Nigeria on the Labour Party platform? And I said, look, what have we actually done for this man? Could his reactions and these things that we are complaining about now, could they have just arisen out of his frustrations? Maybe he's been too much in a hurry to expect reward from the performance. But it is not out of place for him to expect reward at all. It might be too early, he might be expecting it too soon, but it's not out of place. And I was able to establish that day that really we cannot actually put our finger on anything that we have done for that state chairman. And I pleaded with my colleagues to save him that day, and I managed to save him.
You know, I'm glad.
It was then that the chairman and all the National Working Committee people now saw. In fact, the chairman had to invite me from where I was sitting down and say, please, I should come nearer to him. That this is the only way, the only thing that has happened here today that will help us to get out of this problem, better. I think that if such approaches, that kind of approach had been applied to other situations about issues we had in Labour Party, it could, respecting the position, the thinking, the status, the ego of people who have managed our success, who have organized that success that we had. If we have managed it, would have been different. It could have been different.
I'm glad you're localizing our conversation and bringing it to Enugu State. And like you said, and rightly so, Enugu State Labour Party had, given a sterling performance incomparable with any other state chapter in the entire country. But it looks like when things started going wrong, they also gave a very sterling performance again in members elected on the platform of Labour Party, leaving the party in droves. In Enugu, almost all the members of the House of Assembly left the party to join the PDP. As I speak, more than 4 or 5 House of Reps members have also joined the PDP. And we hear that more people are joining. And most significantly,
which House of Reps
most significantly,
which House of Reps members have joined? I don't know about one.
Just that has joined the PDP?
Yes, so far. In Enugu State?
In Enugu State, yeah. About 3 of them joined. Who? But let's not go into the statistics.
No, let's
not go into the statistics. But what I'm saying is that, for instance, the flag bearer of your party in Enugu has also joined the PDP.
governorship election.
And I was watching on TV the other day. I saw your constituents leading delegations to you, asking you to also leave the Labour Party and join the PDP. Why is it happening like this in Enugu State particularly? You did so well in the election, and you're doing so well again in killing the party, in quotes, by leaving the party. What is the problem?
You know, I think what the only thing that has gone wrong with us as an opposition party is the performance of the governor, the present governor of Enugu State. It is difficult to oppose a performing governor. A governor that puts up the kind of performance we are seeing with the governor of Enugu State now, it is difficult to oppose him. For me, I set out it was clear in my mind that what I had to do with this governor was to cooperate with him, work with him, support him, and let us govern Enugu first. And then, you know, project what he was doing, bring support to what he was doing from the center where we operate in Abuja, from the House of Representatives, from the National Assembly, from the federal government, bring support and support what he was, what he is doing in Enugu. That was very clear in my mind, and I set out to do it. I set out to make my suggestions as to, you know, wherever I felt that, okay, this thing can be done better this way, it can be. And that was opportunity.
Was it giving you
yeah, that was opportunity. That was opportunity. He actually opened the door wide for us to be able to make input. And when you made input, if you made any intelligent input, you see him adjust the program.
I'm not interrupting you, but about 2 weeks ago, I spoke with the senator representing Enugu North, Senator Kezia, and he pointedly accused the governor of non-cooperation with people in the National Assembly, especially him. The governor will not pick his calls. The governor will not reply to his letters, will not respond to his text messages, will not see him.
Okay, well, I will speak for myself, and I can tell you straight away, I have never had the experience of trying to reach the governor without being able to reach him. I've not had that experience at all. There was a particular occasion when I had a meeting of 1 hour 20 minutes with the governor, discussing his programs for this state, discussing how he's getting about it, his plans, what he campaigned with. I thought it gave me a lot of attention to bring me up to speed, especially when I came back from the litigations and then got back my seat. And then we had a very robust discussion. I'm from a different political party, and he's from a different one. And for us to have that kind of healthy, robust discussion, I felt it was an honor to me. And I had opportunity to contribute to what was going on. And then I made up my mind from that day that I was going to go back to Abuja, because there are so many wonderful programs that are going on in this state. If you talk about the Command and Control Center, if you talk about the farm estates, if you talk about the smart school project, if you talk about the infrastructure development, if you talk about, name it. There are so many things that we can, that is happening, wonderful things that are happening in Enugu, that we in the center can contribute and support what is going on. Personally, I have not had the experience of maybe doors being shut against me, or me not having access. I have been treated like a House of Arrest member. I have been treated like a representative of this state at the federal level. I have been given opportunity to contribute to what is going on here, and I have not had any.
Are you saying that your colleagues have not complained to you about their inability to communicate with the government? You've never heard anything like that?
Nobody has complained to me, because why should they even complain to me? But just last week, we of the House of Reps caucus, we went to see the governor. There was an accident in Enugu. We ran for help to the speaker to send help to Enugu State because of the accident that happened at Onyama mine, and Ugu Onyama, sorry. And then the speaker gave us some donation, which we presented to the governor. We didn't have issues getting an appointment or getting a meeting, having to meet with the governor and presenting.
You're very close to the flag bearer of your party in Enugu State, Honorable Doga.
We're all close.
Did he consult you when he moved over to the PDP? Did he have a conversation with you?
I knew about it, and I believe he was the one that led me into it when the discussions were going on. And
did you encourage him?
Yes, of course, because I encouraged him because what was the alternative? What was the alternative? You know, he didn't have an office. We have office. We are busy with government. Now, if you say you are suspending politics till the right time, he could be looking for something to also engage himself with, and he is free. I'm not free. I wasn't that free at that, before now. So I encouraged him. Especially when it was about making inputs to the government of Enugu State. I didn't discourage him.
Okay. About 2 weeks ago or 10 days ago, some constituents of yours, I remember 2 visits where they were talking to you about joining the PDP. Have you accepted to join the PDP?
Okay, there were actually 4 visits.
Oh, there were 4.
Yes.
I saw 2.
Yeah, but your media station came and they were part of 2, maybe 2 or 3, because the Obiora constituency 1 came. They came in the name of Egalo Bonano. They came. Then Udenu state constituency came. They came in the name of Like Minds, Udenu Like Minds. They came. Then the Obiora constituency 1 came.
But then it's what I'm saying. They've come.
Yes.
Are you acceding to their request? They want you to leave Labour Party and join the PDP. Is it something you want to do?
It is something I want to do. I'm going to do now because it has been a process. They've come.
You've made up your mind?
Yes, I've made up my mind. They've come in their numbers. They come in. Each of these groups came with up to at least 200 people, and they had representatives of each of the 10 constituencies in each of these state constituencies. So will it 10 wards in each of these state constituencies?
Meant that if you don't, it means that you've lost your followership or what?
Exactly, because
I'm asking.
No, but what I'm saying is that when we left to Labour Party for good reason, we explained our situation or the politics to our constituents.
So why did you leave the PDP at that time to join Labour?
There were so many problems.
No, just give me
internal democracy, non-performance of government, and
the governor of the state at that time was PDP.
The governor of the state at that time was PDP, and the governor of the state today is still PDP.
So you're saying that the governor at that time was not performing?
The government of PDP at that time was not performing. Was, in my own assessment, was not performing, and this is the general knowledge of anybody who is an Enugu State person. And at that time, the government in the center was not performing. The government in the state was not performing. So it was like our candle was burning from 2 sides. It was a very difficult time for anybody from the state.
So they had to leave.
Yes, and not only that, the internal democracy of the party was not really, because we could have stayed within the party to try to make a difference, but the internal democracy of the party was also not working.
So now you've made up your mind to return to the PDP, and you told me earlier in this conversation that what is driving a lot of people to PDP now is the performance of the governor.
Of the governor, yes.
You're satisfied with his performance?
I am satisfied.
And you think it will be sustainable?
I will be there to also contribute to make sure it is sustainable. I am already a significant stakeholder in the business of governing.
So what are you telling your followers as you make another move?
Incidentally, it's such an easy thing now, because it's this followership that are the constituents that are coming.
No, I thought it was the PDP followers that are coming, not Labour Party members.
In fact, what happened was that when they came, I identified faces from Labour Party. I said, are you also part of these people saying this thing? They
They
say
said they
yes.
have moved.
Yeah, no, they say yes. I say, are you also part of it? Are you also? So it was. You see APC people there, PDP people there, Labour Party people there, among this delegation that were coming. That is the honest truth. And I identified them because I know them. I say, are you also asking me to leave Labour Party and come to PDP? They say yes. Why? Because one, they say the governor is working and it is clear for everybody to see. Number two, he say you are working. They say I am working. Number three, they say you and the governor, you understand yourselves. You are cooperating. You are working together, and you understand each other. Four, we think that if you come on the same platform, that it will be better for our constituency and for the state of Enugu State. So that was, and each group and each person that gets up to speak for a word said the same thing in the same way. They made those 4 points. Governor is working, you are working together in cooperation. We want you to come on the same platform. So that was how all the groups came. The narration was the same. The narration.
It doesn't look like you're living alone. It looks like some other members of the house are also living.
Certainly.
So doesn't mean you guys want to collapse the Labour Party. It's an unfortunate situation because I don't know what else will remain in Labour Party when I leave on Thursday, because you're leaving on Thursday. You already put a date to it.
Yeah, because it's a program that things have been arranged in a process. I have had to consult after those people have finished coming. I have slept over it, I've prayed over it, I've consulted key stakeholders. Not one person has discouraged me. Not one person has discouraged me from this. And these are people who we called out when we wanted to leave. And they saw with us, they agreed with us, they went with us, and we achieved all the success that we did.
Would you find accommodation in the People's Democratic Party for yourself, for your dreams, and for the aspirations of your followers? Are you sure that you find that accommodation in PDP?
What do you mean by accommodation? My membership card.
Do well in the party, be recognized in the party, have a sense of belonging in the party.
Let me tell you, number one, I guess the world chairman has informed me that all is ready for my registration. In other words, a membership card is ready. The register is there, and all of them are ready. Both from in my particular ward, both the Labour Party ward chairman and the PDP ward chairman, they are in readiness. They are waiting for me. Now, two, I'm a House of Reps member, so I have my work cut out for me. How to contribute to what the state is doing, how to play my role, discharge my responsibility at the federal level. Everything is clear. And I have my work already cut out for me, and things are going very well. So I am not a role is already carved out for me, and already
even can before accommodate your followers. You're sure?
How? What do you mean by?
I mean, your role is cut out for you, a House of Reps member. Mm-hmm. How about the people that are joining with you? Will they get roles in the party?
What kind of roles do you mean?
What kind of roles do they have in political parties?
Do you know?
They already have chairmen, they have their executives and all that.
You can't have...
And they are leaving to join. Mm-hmm. How are their interests going to be?
It is my responsibility
to protect their interests.
To make sure that the interests of every constituent is protected. And now everybody is coming under one roof. Everybody's interest will be protected, either as party functionaries, or we give them economic empowerment, or we employ them, we give them paid employment, or we give them economic empowerment whereby they can employ themselves in entrepreneurship and self-help.
So there are so many opportunities. Will be, sincerely, look me in the eye and tell me, yes, are you joining the PDP for pecuniary reasons?
What kind of pecuniary reasons?
Are you joining the PDP because you see that the interest of your people will be better protected?
I am joining PDP because the interests of my people will be better protected.
Thank you.
And
thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. You're not going yet. You go in a moment. But let's take our footnotes and quickly round off. Who said you are running late? Life isn't a race, it is a rhythm. Some bloom early, some bloom late, but every blossom counts. Society might hand you a script, but your story is your own to write. There is no perfect timing, no universal checklist for success, love, peace, or purpose. So breathe, walk at your pace. Let go of timelines written by fear or comparison. You are not behind, you are becoming in ways only time will tell. And life is still unfolding. So that's our footnote tonight. But before you go, Honorable Dennis, I have a little gift for you. Something to keep on your table when you get back to the National Assembly.
Thank you.
And that's our program for tonight. I'm Vinmartin Obiora in Enugu, Nigeria. Let's do this again tomorrow. Until then, good night and good morning.